My name is Tawni Marshall, and my pronouns are she and they. And I would like to tell you a few short stories today about some times throughout my transgender journey that I felt immense amounts of affirmation. The first one that comes to mind is right when I came out. I'd had some soft coming outs, but there was a day in particular that I decided I'm going to tell everyone exactly what's up. So I posted it on the internet, and right before I did that, I came out to my partner at the time. Her name's Katie, and she's my best friend now, and the mother of my child. And she had a wonderful reaction to it. She was great about it. Gave me a big hug. First thing she did was ran out and grabbed me pink razors, and it was like my jump over that binary fence that they put up for us. And, I felt incredibly affirmed. I was like, wow, I have the right people in my life, and they like me for the right reasons. A few years later, I had to move back home. And I faced a different kind of affirmation when I had to move back home. I feared for a long time. I didn't come out till I was 25 because I was always afraid of what my family would think, and some of my worst fears were affirmed when my family rejected me. And that was a very rough time, very hard time. And what got me through that time was self-affirmation. It was me putting myself together and climbing out of that. And I really relied on myself a lot during that period. There were like 2 to 3 years of very, very isolated life for me. But I got through it. I made it. And that self-affirmation that I gained from that, it gave me a lot of strength. So getting out of that, I moved to Noblesville. I moved just north of Indianapolis. It's where Katie's from. It's where my child was born. And I've lived here for the last few years. And for the last few years that I've lived here, I've tried to walk a balance between being very candid about my experience, particularly in the workplace, as a transgender person. I've tried to, tell the truth about that, but also not overshare, especially in a way that triggers trauma for my trans and queer friends, because they're the most important people in the world to me. So I've tried to pull that off. I've worked some really crappy jobs. I went through food service jobs like you wouldn't believe. I went through retail jobs. I started at the bottom and started to work my way up, and then hit a plateau for some reason. I faced transphobic abuse from customers daily. And I've been fairly candid about it, but like I said, I've tried to curate the worst parts out. And to get a response from that, to make connections with people, and, to really, to feel like at times I'm educating and helping people understand what we go through. That's affirming for me. It's affirming for me that I'm able to take on that type of work and share like that. A few years ago, I think I mentioned I came out over 10 years ago. A little less than 2 years ago, I finally, after years of struggling and, just trying to put food on the table, kind of pled on the internet to my support network, to my community, to my friends, and said, I really need to start HRT. I made it clear. I had made it clear, but I made it clear how desperate I'd gotten, I guess. But people coming together was overwhelming. It got me to Chicago. It got me into Howard Brown and let me start HRT, on my terms, under informed consent like I wanted to, and like what made sense and was affordable for me. And to have that kind of support from the people in my life was an incredibly, incredibly affirming affirming time for me. And then of course the whole process that has happened since then, you know, the changes and feeling whole finally, like just whole. It's wonderful. I'm so grateful every day for it. So, right before the pandemic, I had just started HRT and things were going really great for me. I was making a lot of connections with new friends. I met a wonderful partner. Things were just perfect. And then the pandemic fell on us, kaboom, and everything stopped. And I was in a retail job. I'd worked myself up into management and just got done over pretty bad. And also I needed to be at home because my kid's doing the homeschooling thing. Well, the stay at home because everybody doesn't want to get sick thing. So while I was doing that, I kind of set up in here and had played a lot of music. I still do. And, you know, was able to support myself and my family through Venmo and PayPal donations from you know, fans and from friends and just people who support me and love me for who I am. And that's incredibly affirming. And then at the start of this year, I'm like, hey, you know what I need to do? I need to finally get the state to recognize me. I have all this affirmation. Everyone's affirmed me and built me up so much into this person that I am today. And I built myself up too, not to discredit myself. And you know what? I got the state to recognize me. They never affirmed me. They just recognized me. But with that recognition, within 1 week, I was making 4 times as much money as I made in the last 10 years. Can you believe that? That's all I needed. They didn't make it easy. The state of Indiana does not make it easy to do that. And they should do a better job. I have friends who work to try to make them see it that way. And I support them fully. Anyhow, that's that's about it. I feel wonderful. I feel affirmed all the time now. I am a self that my younger self could not conceptualize. And there's such a bliss to that, I mean, obviously my trans and queer friends understand completely. My ally friends, like, it's wonderful. Anyhow, taking all this love and affirmation that I feel and sending it out to all of you and wishing you a happy Pride. I'm honored to share my story with you. Thank you for listening.